So I understand tariffs, but I don't understand movie tariffs.
Yeah.
Like, what? Huh?
So it's a funny one because literally this time last week, you and I were sat here.
Yeah.
We were talking about rebates. We were talking about how making Hollywood films is bringing so much attention to this country. It's bringing so much money to the industry. It's so important. And how it's great that films are made in Hollywood, but they are also made in other parts of the world. They bring attention elsewhere and they bring the industry elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Well, President Trump says no. So this week he wrote on social media, on Truth Social, he said that he is authorising a 100% tariff on, and this part is the quote, all movies coming into our country that are produced on foreign lands.
Wow. Hello and welcome to Culture Bites. Today we're going to be talking about the US movie tariffs and what it means to the region.
And all the exciting music and comedy plans here in the UAE.
I'm Enas and Refaei.
And I'm Farah Andrews. Hi.
Hello.
I've just heard tell that this is a big episode for us.
It's our 75th.
Yeah.
So did you say that was a ruby anniversary?
I don't know. I might have made that up, but I'm going with it because I like rubies.
Well.
That's all we need.
You know that I've been married now for a while, and you know, like your first wedding anniversary, I think that like some of them are really lame. It's like paper, cotton,
Did you
steel.
not like paper?
I've been waiting for tin. Then apparently there's like a new version of them where it's like a little bit more updated. But like to get to your diamond, I want a diamond, like, you know, not to be that girl, but like it'd be nice to get some diamonds. You've got to wait like 50 years.
Yeah, isn't so gold is 50.
Oh gosh.
60 might be, well, obviously.
Ladies, if you are traditional, you're in it for the long haul to get that. I mean, you might be able to get a nice handbag before, but even that's probably like 15 years of marriage.
Hey, I don't want to be a downer on marriage because I'm about to enter the institution myself, but I'll buy my own handbags. Hey.
Oh,
hey!
She's an independent lady with a job. Anyway,
yeah.
So
I am going to just say, obviously today we are talking about tariffs. Wasn't expecting that to ever come into our sphere here, but here we are. We've landed here.
We have landed in tariffs,
but we'll be getting to that in a little moment.
Yeah, there's loads of things going on. So I know usually we jump right into like a couple of topics that we want to talk to you guys about, but today we have a few more things on our intro because so much is going on. One is the Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
So we have the writer, Palestinian writer and poet, Mosab Abu Toha. Wait, I'm sorry.
It's been given to you in Arabic.
Yeah. They wrote. I just realised they wrote the notes in Arabic so I can read it properly. Mosab Abu Toha. I can't read this.
Well, that's good. I would have said Toha.
Yeah, no.
So it's Toha.
Toha. Anyway, he has had an award for his essays on life in war-torn Gaza, where he's lived for all of his life.
Yeah.
So, and this win obviously comes despite lots of criticism from pro-Israel advocacy groups. So it's really good to see that writers like him are pushing through and getting that recognition from Gaza.
Yeah, and I think it relates to what you and I were just talking about off air, but I think it is for people. So the Pulitzer for you and I is something that we know an awful lot about, but it might not be something that everybody knows about. It is a very prestigious journalism award, and it's awarded to American publications and American published work. So you and I won't be getting our Pulitzer for a little while until we make any decisions to move. But he had his works, so it doesn't have to go to American writers, it's American published work or produced work. And he published a series of essays with The New Yorker, which I think I would like to look to our fellow publications and just I really like that was a piece that was commissioned by them.
Yes, well done. So in the world of journalism, so often we will have different writers and journalists based in different places. We have Rakan at the moment, who works for The National, who only works for us, and he is on the ground in Gaza, and he's the one who gives us everything that's going on there from a third-hand perspective. We also had another journalist there up until the war began, who she's since left, and we have Refaei as well, and Mohammed Saif, who I've worked with, all three of them, very closely, who I'm constantly in touch with and often very worried about. And I think that's the case for a lot of newsrooms. They have people who are on the ground in these, absolutely terrifying conditions, and trying to get the news out when there is a blockade, not allowing Western journalists or journalists of any kind into that place. So it's really important that we are getting information out, and that information is getting recognised by American awards.
Yeah, and so the winner of this prize, Mosab Abu Toha, tweeted, wrote on X, I have just won a Pulitzer Prize for commentary. Let it bring hope. Let it be a tale. I think that is just such a powerful message. And so he's from Gaza. He left in 2019 to study at Harvard. And so, yeah, he is in the US doing his writing. So, yeah, it's big.
It's very, very big.
That is, this is a bit of a conversational U-turn now, but it is also currently Tuesday, which means, it's the first Tuesday in May, which means it's the day after the Met Gala, which is always the first Monday in May.
May Day.
Yeah, I always get a bit of FOMO for May Day.
Yeah, I get a bit of FOMO for May Day.
In the UK, it's a bank holiday. It is not here. No. So the Met Gala took place last night. That is a massive event. It is a big old fashion bonanza.
Yeah, it's mainly a fashion event, really.
It is a fashion event.
So every year they have a theme, and the theme this year was
tailored for you, inspired by Black dandyism and the metropolitan. So, rewind. The event is extremely popular, but it's also very expensive to attend. Reportedly $75,000 per ticket. And where does that money go? I hear you ask.
Where does it go?
It goes to the Metropolitan Museum of Art for their to the Costume Institute, which is the kind of fashion wing of that institution. And then every year around about this time, there is a different exhibition, a different fashion-led exhibition, which Condé Nast and Vogue's Anna Wintour is extremely hands-on with. And this year, that exhibition is called Superfine, Tailoring Black Style. So it is a look back at predominantly Black male fashion and like the way men have dressed within that culture, and the kind of what it is to be a dandy, and Black dandyism, which is very dapper.
Yeah, it's very dapper. It's quite flamboyant. I'm trying to think of like images that I can say over a podcast.
It's a tricky one to paint a picture with our words, but we will try. So every year, Zendaya is a bit of a darling of the Met Gala. She wore white Louis Vuitton, which was amazing, with a big hat. There was also Anna Wintour brings it together, and she always has co-chairs. And so this year her co-chairs were, I'm not going to remember all of them, but they were Pharrell Williams, Lewis Hamilton, Colton Domingo, and I am missing someone else with an honorary chair in the shape of LeBron James. But I am missing someone, but that's my memory. But they all looked incredible. I loved Pharrell Williams. He wore a pearl he wore like a... It was, I've given away my punchline. It was pinstripe suit, but the pinstripes are made out of pearls.
Beautiful.
He's the creative director at Louis Vuitton, so he...
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Have you seen his film? He's got the autobiography done by the Lego guys.
Oh, no, I didn't
It's
know.
absolutely brilliant. Oh, it should have been one of my recommendations. But my kids loved it. It was a way of watching as well Pharrell's music career, his whole career, in fact. But it's all acted out in little Legos. So like Missy Elliott's a little Lego. Oh, it's really fun.
I like that probably more than I like the idea of being a monkey in my biopic.
What, Robbie Williams?
Yeah.
I love
I do need to see it. I haven't actually seen it. But,
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it was a big old night.
Rihanna is also a big darling.
Yeah.
Have you seen what she wore?
I did, yeah.
Tell me what she wore, because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen what she announced?
Well, I've seen it in my notes now, and I'm so shocked.
Rihanna wore Marc Jacobs, but that isn't the big news. She announced on the red carpet that she is expecting her third baby with A$AP Rocky. We were showing our notes, but it was
amazing.
I do like that Rihanna will just choose the most extra place to announce that she's pregnant. She's
Why
like,
not?
Super Bowl, why not? Met Gala, why not?
Mashallah.
It's not an Insta post.
Mashallah.
Not for Riri.
I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
Oh, what a dream.
Shall we talk tariffs?
Yes, you're going to have to tell me all about this. So I understand tariffs, but I don't understand movie tariffs.
Yeah.
Like what? Huh?
So it's a funny one because literally this time last week, you and I were sat here.
Yeah.
We were talking about rebates. We were talking about how making Hollywood films is bringing so much attention to this country. It's bringing so much money to the industry. It's so important. And how it's great that films are made in Hollywood, but they are also made in other parts of the world. They bring attention elsewhere and they bring the industry elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Well, President Trump says no. So this week he wrote on social media, on Truth Social, he said that he is authorizing a 100% tariff on, and this part is the quote, all movies coming into our country that are produced on foreign lands.
Wow.
What we don't know at this stage is how that's being rolled out.
Okay.
But he also said, we want movies made in America again.
Oh, fascinating.
Leaning into his little catchphrase there. So we don't know how it's exactly going to be rolled out. He announced this on Sunday. So, hey, listen, this might have changed by the time we come out.
It might have changed. I'm also thinking back to when we first started this podcast, 75 episodes ago. And we were talking about the writers in Hollywood. The writers' strike, and how far away in distance that seems now. But it wasn't that long ago. Yeah. And I do think that the industry obviously will bounce back and they will find a way.
The thing is that we've seen in the past kind of like 20 odd years, Hollywood in its Hollywood essence, like the kind of like sound stages where things are filmed, is very expensive to film in with the kind of like California tax, the way the industry is set up. Hollywood is expensive. So it's very unusual that films are made in Hollywood now. There's, I think I read somewhere that there's only like, I'm not even going to pretend a percentage, but it surprised me how low the number of films are that are made in Hollywood. And we spoke about this last week. They're going out, they're going to Canada, they're going to the UK, they're coming to this part of the world. So I guess Trump wants Hollywood to be back up and running. He wants the glittering lights.
The glittering lights of
Tinseltown.
Hollywood. Come back to America. It's just such an interesting time all around, especially obviously the MENA region is such a hotspot for Hollywood production, as we spoke about last week.
Yes.
So what will this mean? We don't really know yet.
Yeah, so we, one of our colleagues, William, wrote a really interesting feature on kind of what does it mean for the MENA film industry. And he spoke to quite a few experts, which was a very interesting read, and I do recommend everyone goes off and reads it. We'll make sure it's linked in the show notes here. But the answer is, like, right now we don't know how it's rolled out. Is it a kind of like, so is it, I guess it's on the screening side of things and then like the distribution side, because it's impossible. You can't, Trump hasn't got the ability to kind of put a surcharge on things that are kind of created here. So it's in the distribution, I would guess.
Yeah, so what does that mean for like production house, like distributors like Watermelon? Or others that we've spoken about?
So the people that we spoke to in this feature said, obviously it impacts American films. For Arab films, it really is quite a small number of Arab Arabic language films that are shown in the US, so there is not going to be too big an impact. I guess like we'll see potentially like the films like Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which we know was just filmed here in Abu Dhabi, in the Louvre, Abu Dhabi. Will that be impacted? Will that be hit? Can things be retrospectively penalised? All of that isn't clear. It's not. We don't know that yet. So if a film has, before this was announced, had already kind of locked in filming in an international country, it's not clear. It's also, it could potentially kind of feel, this is one of my worries and one of my takeaways, it could feel a little bit like storylines are being curtailed. Because if we think about Now You See Me, Now You Don't, we haven't seen that film yet, but we know that it is a film about like cloak and daggery, and then it's set in Louvre, Abu Dhabi, and like that location is a part of the storyline, right? So is there going to be like a kind of like editing and, for want of a better word, censoring and storylines because they aren't taking them internationally?
It's a fascinating thing.
Yeah.
Is it even going to happen, or is it just a tweet?
I mean, there is always that.
It could just be that. Although everything does seem to be
things do seem to be happening.
It seems to be followed through so quickly. And times it's just all moving very, very fast right now with the tariffs and like how many there are. So what this will mean, look, there's always been changes politically to countries around the world, and they have an impact on art. They always have done, they always will do. So how will this impact the art?
Well, yeah. I mean, like an art's job is to kind of like react to it, right?
Yeah.
And respond and create. The only was one other thing to add, I guess, is the kind of how is it going to be down to like percentages of kind of like percentage of films shot in Hollywood? And then you're kind of like, we'll see like 3 minutes shot in Abu Dhabi. And then if it goes over 180 seconds, then we get this like, there's like a penalty or something. I don't know. That's me. But what determines if a film is...
And also like, where did the tariff usually impacts the states the most, because it's that they then pass on the cost to the consumer. So if there's like tariffs for things coming in, so how does that work when it comes to films?
Yeah.
Fascinating times. And back with some comedy and music news. So we've got a jam-packed calendar this summer.
Yeah. So we have had a lovely, lovely, lovely long winter and lots of things to do outside here in the UAE. And now it is starting to get a little bit warmer, which means that people are hoping to spend more time inside, which means that there is the kind of like arena events season.
Lots and lots of things coming up in Abu Dhabi and in Dubai, mainly at the Etihad Arena
and the
Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai. The Etihad Arena, we've got the Comedy Fest that's coming up. I have got tickets.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Who to see?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh, that is very exciting. When Dave Chappelle was here last year, it was like the biggest comedy show that's ever happened in this country.
Really?
Top tip. He doesn't let people film, or this might have just been last time, but they don't like people filming the show, so they have to put their phone in a little bag.
I love that.
Yeah, it's good. But just accommodate time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So we all have a little
arrive
bag.
at 5:02 concert time or show time, because you have to put your phone in a little bag, and that doesn't happen in a moment when it's thousands and thousands of people.
Do you get to keep the little bag? Or?
I didn't go, but when I've had to do that at films, you keep it with you, but it's sealed with like a. I've had it at a lot of like film screenings. If you go to an early film screening,
and then they seal it,
and it's like, when you go to a shop and then there's like the they seal it with that.
I love that.
Yeah,
they should do that to concerts.
Oh, it'd be amazing. People would actually watch the concert again.
People actually watch it, because I'm just like, whenever I go to see, like even when I went to the Jazz Fest. Remember when I went to the Jazz Fest? When I went there, I was thinking to myself, like, all these people, I mean, yes, I wanted a photo of Herbie Hancock too, but are you really going to watch that performance on your phone with bad sound
I feel
quality.
like this is us becoming old ladies because I thought the exact same thing. I went to go see the Backstreet Boys last year. And it was a very, very millennial female room. So I was in and amongst my peers. And I remember the beginning of the show and it was all like lights, camera, action, flames. And I was in a sea of 3,000 phones going like, I hated it. And so then I was like a one-woman strike that no one knows about. And I was like, I will not take a single photo until one special moment for me later. So I've got one picture.
You just sat there on your high horse.
Yeah.
Looking down on everyone.
And that's where I do like to watch. I need a high horse for concerts because I'm quite short. You don't need a high horse for concerts.
I do not need a high horse. No, but I do think about my youth and how many... I went to a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
I was that girl,
Same.
indie girl. And I went to so many. I have no recordings of any of them. It does not take away from the memories and the fun and all of that stuff. And it's like, I'm not going to re-watch, like, what?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch 17 minutes of Backstreet Boys footage of which, with all due respect to my female millennial peers, is not the Backstreet Boys. All I can hear is everyone screaming. It's terrible audio.
So that's exciting. So Dave Chappelle, I will not have my phone.
You will not be able to film it.
Yeah.
Other comedians coming include Pete Davidson, end of June.
Very, very fun energy.
Yeah.
He's not the kind of person I'd imagine coming to the UAE, but here he is.
He be coming.
Very famous for obviously being a former Saturday Night Live star.
Is that what you say he's most famous for? Because I would say he's most famous for being Kim Kardashian's ex.
Yeah. I just didn't want to be that person.
Hey.
If this was a woman.
How he made it.
I know, but if it was a woman, we'd be like, oh. But then I suppose we do it, don't we? Yeah, okay, fine.
There are some people that we do just know.
Because they dated famous people.
Because they dated famous people. And I think he would be the first to admit it. He probably would maybe back his SNL CV a bit more.
My kids would be very excited because they are huge fans of Dogman, and he was in the animated film for Dogman.
I was going to say, your girls big Pete Davidson fans?
They love Dogman though. But Dahlia's read all the books, very proud.
Oh, that's good.
Big names as well. So that's again at the Etihad Arena. Coca-Cola Arena, we've got a hip hop queen.
Yes, we do.
Mary J. Blige. That's a huge name.
Huge.
24th of June.
Goodness gracious me, what busy weekend that is. 24th of June, Mary J. Blige. 25th of June, Pete Davidson. 27th, Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, yeah. But 24th, so again, like, I think this is really just showing how they are definitely pushing these big stars to coming in like summer months where we wouldn't have that before. So it's really exciting and it gives you something to do.
Having, the Coca-Cola and the Etihad Arena opening in the past... Coca-Cola's been in the last 6 years, Etihad in the last 4, I think. That's a game changer for the kind of like year-round calendar performances because before times, my youth, everything was outside. And I love an outside concert.
Especially in this country.
Yeah.
Because you're not, well, most of the time you're not going to get rained on.
Yeah. You'll be able to find a certain pedigree of Dubai resident that's lived here long enough, UAE resident really, who remembers Sundance, and we'll all just like look at it fondly and just be like, that was the best. It was just a festival on the beach and they brought the biggest names. I saw Kings of Leon there.
Wow.
I saw the Killers there. I saw Noel and Liam Gallagher.
What?
Separately.
I'm going to see them together this year.
Yeah, same.
Can't.
Not in this country though.
Not in this country.
Other people that are coming include, well, we've got Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer loves it here.
Hans Zimmer comes a lot, but this is the first time he's coming to Abu Dhabi.
Is that true?
I think so, yeah. I think it's the first time. He often plays at the Dubai Opera, and people who go to see his show say it's incredible.
Yeah, I think his performances are the kind of performances where you can read a CV, you can read a blurb like we have right here, expect to hear soundtracks from films such as Interstellar, The Lion King, Dune. And it's not until you're sitting there in that room and you go, oh wow, I know every single piece of music, I know every note because I just know these films and he has created the scores for them and they are just such a intrinsic part of these films that we kind of semi-take for granted.
100%. He's the only modern day composer that I probably know the name of.
Oh yeah.
That's
recomposing the Saudi national anthem as we speak. Did you know that?
I know, yeah, it's really good. We had a story about that on the National.
And then Guns N' Roses are also coming. That's big.
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves Guns N' Roses. Who doesn't love Guns N' Roses?
And then away from music and comedy, but staying a little bit in music, musicals.
Yes.
Would you go and see Stomp?
I would actually definitely go and see Stomp.
There we go. That's the musical to get her in.
Yeah, maybe that's the one to go to. It's playing at Dubai Opera May 29th and May 31st, end of this month. And it is a big British percussion, but they drum on different objects of everyday life. This was a huge, huge hit in the UK, and it's kind of like gone global now and has been moved around. It involves like paint, I imagine, because all the Stomp things were like lots of paint,
like water
and fun stuff. So it's a drumming extravaganza, but also theatrical. It's a marvel to see.
Something for me that I care about, Mamma Mia.
That's so up your street.
So up my street.
Have you been to see it before?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's so up your street. I got my mum.
Yeah. Have I watched both films? Yeah. First film so many times. So many times. Second film, when they brought Cher out, I thought, goodness gracious me, could this be any more up my street?
So up your street.
Mamma Mia. I love it so
Mamma
much.
Mia.
Mamma Mia, ABBA, Amanda Seyfried, Meryl Streep, Colin Firth, Greek Islands. What else could we want?
Fair. They're not coming to the musical.
Oh wait, yeah, no, it's not. We must caveat that Meryl will not be here herself.
Oh gosh, but it's celebrating 25 years since it debuted. I'm not that old. June 11th to the 22nd.
25 years.
Let's not talk
That's actually, no, let us talk about it, because I remember going to go see it. I would have said I was younger than 10, but I obviously wasn't, because that is 25 years ago. And I remember my cousins coming down from Scotland and we went to go watch it in the West End. We were very excited, and she probably doesn't listen, but I'll send her this clip. We went for Chinese food in Chinatown, and my cousin ordered chicken noodle soup, and they brought her like a family-sized portion. I remember finding nothing funnier, but also being dazzled when she actually succeeded to eat it.
Wow, well done, your cousin.
Yeah, Laura, well done.
Well done,
Laura.
Well done, Laura.
And that's really what I would just describe as a perfect day out. Family-sized portion of chicken noodle soup, Mamma Mia.
There.
That's what I'll be doing.
Done. Let's go on to recommendations.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if your recommendation is taking me to see Mamma Mia mid-June, then going for noodle soup with me before. Because, yeah, I'll be there. We could do it. We could do it on... No, tell me your recommendations, please.
So my recommendation is a series on Netflix, which is called 4 Seasons, which I binge watched this weekend. And its cast is Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Kerry Kenny Silver. It's very good. It's kind of like one of those, it's from a book. It's an adaptation from a book, which has also been a film. And then they made it into this like series. And it's about these different couples that vacation together in different times. But you kind of like watch the progression of one couple.
Was there once a film that had Reese Witherspoon in that was this?
No, I don't think. Maybe it did. I don't know. No, wait. Reese Witherspoon, 1981, I think the film came out.
Oh, no, then.
No. But anyway, so the film, the series is good. It's kind of like a comedy, but it's also touching on the difficult dynamics that exist within couples. So like all the couples are kind of made up of these different characters, but you kind of recognise them. It's quite eerie how you're like, oh, we're that couple. Or, oh, we're that couple.
Group trips like this,
yeah,
is that most of the time it'll be like 50% of each couple, say the women, that are all friends. And then we just have like 4+1s.
Yeah.
And they don't always know where they fit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This couple is more based on uni friends that have got together.
So they all know
it's a
each
bit
other.
more mixed.
Okay.
So it's not too, we're friends and those are the men. They're the men. No, it's a bit more mixed. It's a bit more nuanced. But it was kind of like an easy watch. One of them is obviously going through a crisis.
Oh, there's always a crisis.
And there might be a divorce. It's all quite fun.
High stakes. Would you say, in your humble opinion, that they are capitalising on the popularity of White Lotus for the timing of this show?
Oh, interesting. It's not that sort of style. It's more like when they say vacation, it's like they go to one of their boathouses. It's not like resort. Don't think of it as
But it is called Four Seasons.
It's called Four Seasons because you go through the seasons of the year.
The name's clever.
I like the way your brain went straight to the hotel chain.
Well, yeah, I mean,
obviously. Why didn't my brain go there though?
I think
my brain
it's like
went
a
to
experiment.
The Four Seasons in spring, summer,
the other Four
autumn,
Seasons.
winter.
I like the Four Seasons.
You like the Four Seasons hotel.
I like the Four Seasons Manhattan.
Yeah. What's your recommendation for this week?
It's different to yours. It is so a couple of weeks ago, the Turner Prize announced its nominees this year. So 3 nominees up for the Turner Prize. Turner Prize is a very prestigious British art award. And one of the nominees, her work is on show here in Abu Dhabi. So my recommendation is that everybody goes to go see it. It is Zaidi Zar's Turner-nominated presentation is on show at the Sharjah Biennial. The work is called Moonlit Confessions Across a Deep Sea Echoes. Your ancestors are whales and Earth remembers everything. It's a long name.
That is a long name.
Which is why I needed
Wait, is it here or is it in Sharjah?
It's in Sharjah.
Fantastic. Which is here. Yeah, of course, we're in the UAE. I thought it might be Abu Dhabi.
No, so you have to go 2 Emirates down. And yeah, the work is kind of multi-medium. It comprises sound, painting, and different elements within the installation. So beautiful. Please go check it out.
Fun times.
It's on show until the summer.
Okay.
That is my parting message.
Well, thank you so much. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please like and subscribe and follow on the National News YouTube channel.
And be sure to follow at The National Arts on social media and catch new episodes of Culture Bites every Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.